What's up, everybody? This is DJ Thielen, CEO of Fortune Foreclosures, founder of Flipping on Demand, and your host of DJ Thielen Live Success Strategies for Living Your Best Life. Today, I'm super jacked to bring on some friends of mine, some new recent good friends of mine, on how you can create your most fulfilling life. That's what we're going to get into today with my guests, Dug and Heidi McGuirk. Welcome, guys, all the way from sunny Florida.
That's right, sunny Florida.
Sunburn to prove it.
I was just saying, yeah, in LA here, we've had too much rain.
Really?
Yeah,
I was living there, and it didn't rain like one time in a year. It was awesome. I love the weather there. It gets really hot here, DJ. Like
humid, huh?
It's about to come. It's about to come in the summer.
Yeah, as you know, from here we get the rain and then it cools it off just for 5-10 minutes and then blaring again.
Yeah.
No problem to live in the sunshine,
Yeah,
right?
we'll get over it.
Yeah.
I know, right? We're talking about that. I say I grew up in Oregon, Portland, Oregon, and lived in Seattle, Washington for 13 years, and I said, yeah, I'm never complaining about the sun. So when I find myself like, oh, it's a little, how is it? Oh man, it's a little cloudy. It's only 60 today. You know, like, yeah, we get spoiled. Yeah. So you guys have an incredible story. I know, you know, some of Doug's, of course, Heidi, but from watching you guys and watching your broadcasts and watching you online, you guys have an incredible background, extensive background on how to help people through transformation, from creating the kind of life that they want, from how they think. I mean, you guys have a vast background, but can you guys just give the audience a little bit of a background on, you know, where you guys, maybe not where you guys came from, but how you guys got into this, helping people to be better, to create the life they want, to help them transform?
Ladies first?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, a little bit of history is appropriate, right? Because it's like the proverbial hero's journey, right? How'd you get here? For me, I started off, I always knew I wanted to help people, but I started off in business development and leadership development, and was really successful business consultant and traveling the world and really helping people make a lot of money. And I myself was traveling and looked really good from the outside looking in, right? That I'd reached a certain level of success and climbed that corporate ladder, just, you know. But when I got to the top, I looked around, I was alone. And I was really, really lonely, full of anxiety, depressed, just, you know, soldiering on, pretending like I was fulfilled. But the reality was I was really empty. I was lonely. Relationships, I didn't know how to do that. And in order to cope, I was binge drinking. You know, wine was my solution for everything. I had developed an eating disorder and a binge drinking problem. And so in 2008, everything, as we all know, right, came crashing down. And it was a golden opportunity for me to look around my life and say, what do I really want? Because I looked like I had everything except true fulfillment. I was not fulfilled. I had all the money, had the house, had the bags, but nothing in my heart, right? I was empty. And so during that time frame is when I really did some soul searching to ask myself two questions. What do I really want? And what am I no longer willing to settle for? And that's when I decided what I really wanted was the family, was to have it all. I'd been sold a lie that as a woman, you can't have it all. You can like have money or love or whatever money, but you can't have everything. And I believed it. I bought into that. But yeah. I'm so grateful that I decided to challenge my own mind. And as a result, you know, obviously attracted Dug into my life, and we had this big mission and purpose together. But ironically, then I ended up coming full circle and working in recovery and helping other people who had a similar emptiness. You know, we were able to do that for 7 years. We did that together. And you had a little bit of a different journey coming to that place, but it's just confirmation, DJ, that everything you're going through in your life is divinely ordered to prepare you for your right next step.
Yeah.
Right? Every obstacle, every problem. And so my life is certainly a testimony to that, for sure.
I like what you were sharing here about, I literally just talked to someone the other day about this, Heidi. It's so crazy you mentioned this, was we get caught into, oh, well, you know, it could be anything. Like you said, hey, why can't I have it all? And I think, you know, we go through things like Grant Cardone says, who's a buddy of mine now. He says, like, why the hell would I want cake and not be able to eat it, right? Like, you can't have your cake and eat it. And so it's like, you know, well, you know, I was with a wealthy lady, I was with a wealthy man. And so therefore, you know, I've been down that road, and you know what? Money is not going to make me happy. And we attach the feeling that we have to something that was negative. It's like, no, man, you were with the wrong freaking person, right? It had nothing to do with the money, but that feeling that we have from being in that relationship, in any relationship, can we attach whatever feeling that we're feeling to that? And I've seen that, you know, and I know you guys have seen it. We'll get into that. But that's so awesome that you say that, because that's why, you know, we're becoming friends, because like, that's so how I am. It's like, hey, why, you know, we're just, oh God, we could talk about this all day. I want you guys.
Yeah, I know, DJ, right? Because I didn't renounce the money. I want that too.
Yeah. yeah.
I want
it all, baby.
Well, and that's the thing, is that when you really get into the bigger picture, money is just energy. Yes. So the abundance of energy, the abundance of love, the abundance of freedom, the abundance of adventure, the abundance of all of it, it's all part of the same thing. So to compartmentalize and make the distinction that, well, you can't have one if you have the other, is the experience you'll have by that declaration. If you declare that you can have it all, and then you set yourself up for that, then you take the steps necessary, ecologically, lovingly, responsibly, so that you can have it all. And our mission and your mission that we're all working together on is to lead the way so that others can too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you know, I was watching a video the other day. I forget who it was. It was someone. It was either, maybe it was Tony Robbins or Grant or one of them. And they were saying, they're walking down the street and going, having people finish this sentence: money doesn't grow on, you know, trees. If it sounds too good to be true, it is, right? And people were finishing these sentences. You go, man, we were so programmed with so much crap that it's amazing until we really become aware, which I'm sure you guys will talk about, like self-awareness, EQ, emotional intelligence. Until we are aware of things that, you know, we can't change anything. And so, but
do it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So, so with your side, Doug, share a little bit about with where you came from, like how you got into the transformational, you know, helping people transform their lives. Because I know you do some events. I've seen them. You know, they're super cool. I haven't been to one, but I need to get to one, man. They look.
We're actually talking about doing some together, right?
They look super fun, man.
We're all here.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, similar to Heidi, it's been a path, and I imagine you can relate that just growing up, always had this innate like feeling of wanting to serve, help other people, and like an awareness, an acute awareness to something's not right. Maybe we could do something about it. And I remember, like, even just I was probably like 9 or 10 years old. We went out to dinner as a family for like Thanksgiving or Christmas, and I saw a guy by himself. An old guy eating dinner by himself, and I was like, "Oh, can we invite him over?" You know, and this poor guy, he looks lonely and all of that. And I invited him, and he didn't come. But
he was like, "What weird kid?"
Yeah, and and that happens still. But so it's always been a thing for me. I've always been interested in development and our connection to something bigger. I always felt like we were all destined for more, that there was something not quite right in the way, like you talk about the programming, and this doesn't make sense. Like this shouldn't be happening, kind of thing. And as I got older and started educating myself, I found that there were people who were like me, thinking those same things. And I early on, at like 18 years old, got acquainted to Tony Robbins. So guy with the big teeth, the infomercials. I'm dating myself because I remember I was 18, drunk. I came home and I was like, "Mom, give me your credit card." And she was like, "Oh, what for, honey?" And I'm like, "Tony Robbins, you know, I like the cut of his enormous jib. You know, give me I want to get that program." And she's like, "Oh, we have that." We do. It's like, yeah, it's in the den. And downstairs in the den was Personal Power, the 30-day program, still in shrink wrap, and they were cassettes. So there you go. I'm dating myself here. But by
at least they weren't 8-track.
Yeah, I don't.
I grew up to Boss Skaggs 8-tracks, Carly Simon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All that.
So the long and short of it, from using personal development, so at that time I was like most, teens, late teens, full of angst, and I was just depressed or pissed. And I applied what Tony was teaching at the time, and basically transformed my entire life. I went from being completely misunderstood, depressed, angry, pissed off, breaking stuff, to getting myself into the music industry and worked my way up rather quickly to a staff producer and winning multiple Grammys and like really creating an incredible life. And sort of what Heidi shared earlier this morning, we talked about it being in a relationship that was not fulfilling, and then not being able to have it all. There was that, like, well, you can't have a family if you're going to have a career. You can't, like, all of those things. And I had to reinvent myself in both my career and my personal life and all of that, which put me in at least a position to work some incredible muscles and see that other people needed that. And nothing, was bringing me, and still does bring me, more joy than being part of, especially to do it with my wife, which is what, like, I designed, like what I wanted from, like, when I ended that past relationship and designed the life that I wanted. It was to do it as a family, to do it together, to be on that same page, to collectively be part of making the world a better place. Right. And now that we have our daughter, it's even more leverage. Like, our goal is to make the world better than when we started here, so that our daughter has some other great models.
And what's so weird, like connecting all the dots, is you were working. So he ended up working for Tony and traveling around on the road, and we met, and you were like, oh, come on the road with me. We're going to go travel around. We're like UPW carnies. Yeah. We traveled around every 4 months. Now we're going to go to New York. Now Chicago. Now, and it was great. But an owner of a treatment center saw him and was a platinum partner with Tony and said, hey, I want you to come teach those strategies at the treatment center. And that's how we ended up, through that Tony Robbins, getting recruited to teach those philosophies inside the treatment center, which nobody was teaching, right? So we were doing board breaks, glass walks, we were having like our own version of the Dickens process inside the treatment center. And it was radical, man. It was amazing. But then that's come to a close. And so now we're just opening back up, right, to work with everybody again. But we were kind of secluded in this treatment world for 7 years. So that's where really I feel like we honed our ability to transform lives. Okay. It's one thing to take a client who's pretty successful in life and just get them more successful. It's another thing to take somebody who hates themselves, is totally lost, has lost absolutely everything, addicted to heroin, nothing going on, no will to live, and then have that person just totally transform, be in love with their life, create a life worth being sober for, get fired up and passionate about who they are, love themselves again and believe in themselves. And I think that was God's gift to us, like a 7-year apprenticeship, to really hone our skills and to be able to say, this is the real deal.
Because what we found is it's exactly the same thing. The person who struggles with addiction to heroin or alcohol or whatever that is the exact same. It's done the same way, neurologically speaking, and so forth, that someone who's addicted to the internet, who can't stop telling themselves the same story as to why they can't have it all, why they have to, the industry is too difficult. You deal with it all the time with real estate people, like, oh no, DJ, there are no deals available, there's no money available, the market is is too soft now, or whatever. And you're like, what? That's just the story, and we get addicted to it. And then on a larger scale, not to get too big, but my belief, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, see that people are getting addicted to victimhood. They're addicted to telling the story, the woe is me, that blaming other people, other situations. And even CEOs blame their staff, they blame their team, they blame, and until we start taking personal responsibility and ownership of that's just the story we're telling, we need to reinvent who we are in this moment in order to change, because true leadership is taking that responsibility and appreciating where we're at, where we want to go, and what our role is in that.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, so good. I mean, that's a big part of the start of transfer. So you guys see, it's great that you guys share that, because, so many people, like, obviously we're into the same things, gratitude. And I start my morning with, feeling good, hot tub, swim, prayer, gratitude, manifestation, that kind of stuff. But the great thing is that, you guys see somebody and they're like, yeah, like you were saying, Heidi, well, my business is a $1 million business. And they think they got all these issues. And it's like, how do I get to 2 million? And you're going, man, if we can help people, you guys went through the extreme of helping people, like you said, no will to live, addicted to heroin and drugs, alcoholism, didn't have a clue on who they were, hated who they were, had a horrible image of themselves. And when you can help those people turn their lives around and do that and really master that, that's why you guys have so much success. I mean, I believe with helping, people, you're like, they're like, oh, my life's a wreck. Well, tell me what's going on, right? And they tell you, and it's like, you're probably thinking, you don't say, it's like, shit, that's it. That's all it's
well, I'll tell you, DJ, here's what's really interesting. When people come into treatment, when we were helping these people who were at their very bottom, right? Mm-hmm. The reason that they were there is really because they were the initial intent with addiction is try to create happiness. It's a lame attempt at happiness. And what they were searching for was authentic happiness, sustainable, authentic happiness, not manufactured, right? Mm-hmm. And so here's what's really interesting. When I came out of that treatment world, I started seeing my clients again. And I do deal with a level, most of the people that I attract have reached a certain level of success, right? They just have. And so my first client I had after I was just exclusively working in my own practice again was worth millions and millions of dollars. Okay. And so she had, now this isn't everybody I work with, but she was. And I was tempted, DJ, to say, what are her problems after what I've come from? But when I sat with her and I wanted to really understand how I could serve her, and I said to her, you tell me, what are you hoping to get out of this? What can I give you that you don't already have? And do you know what she said, DJ?
Happiness.
Authentic happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Because although she wasn't injecting it and swallowing it, she was buying it. She was pushing it out into the world. She was smiling at cocktail parties when she wanted to go ride her bike on the beach. You know what I mean? So it really is the same work. It's the same work, like Doug was saying. It really is the same. And everybody's problems might seem like, oh, that's a quality problem to have. But underneath it all, it really is the same torture. It really is this gnawing, empty kind of a thing, this never ending, forever empty that we're searching for.
Mm-hmm.
And, I always love this quote, DJ, that why can't you have enough bags? Why can't you have enough wine? Why can't you have enough Oreos? Because you can never have enough of what you don't really want. And what we really want is the genuine, authentic fulfillment.
Oh, so true.
Is fleeting. Authentic happiness is fleeting. So we teach people fulfillment instead, because that's sustainable.
So let's get into sharing with the audience here. Some people watch this, will have, hundreds of thousands over time that watch it. We'll have some people that listen to it on the podcast. So let's get into that. So you guys have already shared dropped some, great nuggets. But as far as, if, step one, where do people start? If people are listening saying, hey, regardless of where I'm at, and that's great, Heidi, because I agree with you. And even in my own life, until I started, someone asked me, if you could tell me one thing, DJ, that has changed your life outside of religious things and spiritual beliefs that I have and things, but what is the one thing that changed your life? Said, I'll tell you, it's setting my tone for my vibration first thing in the morning in a happy state and smiling and just being grateful no matter what happens. and trying to carry that through the day. And it's completely changed my life. And so what you're sharing with me and everybody, I know I've experienced, but where do people start? What's the starting point for people?
I'll always ladies first, I guess. Okay, you go first next time. So here's what's really crazy, DJ. I used to do that approach where I would, running these multi-million-dollar companies, my thing was get up, put a smile on my face, put on my best outfit that made me feel really successful, march in. But what I found is I had a problem embracing those skills and tools to a fault. And what was happening was I had this low-lying depression and anxiety that I kept medicating with affirmations. Oh, suck it up. You love it. You love what you're doing. I hated what I was doing. And so for me, the first step was actually allowing the real pain to surface and the real emotion, because I was pretending and performing and all these other things. And so for me, it's really getting into a place of authenticity and checking in and how am I really truly feeling. Sometimes that pain that we want to like affirm out of us, out demon, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that pain is the smoke signal to your spirit, from your spirit to your brain, begging for change, going, hey, please, can we change something up a little bit? So I'm a realist. I love to say the first step is, where are you currently? What is the reality of your situation? We don't live there, DJ. We live in a filtered Instagram society where people want to paint a picture and pretend it's better than it is. There's value in the vision, but there is power in the present. Where am I really? Okay. So I think that that's a great first place to begin.
Agreed. So, and right. Because, well, and while there's also context here.
Yeah.
Right. Because there are certain assumptions that we generally have. So when you shared, we talked the other day and you shared that exactly what you did with me now is that you prime your pump with with happiness and all of that.
Gratitude. Yeah.
Yeah. When that's real for you and authentic, then that's right. Then that's awesome. And that is keeping the fires burning. So I think what Heidi is sharing is that if you're doing it that's inauthentic and you're doing it as like a Band-Aid on the flesh wound, then maybe we have to like have that awareness. But it's totally cool and awesome, even if you do have some stuff, to also add that, like, I gotta have something worth going through that pain for in the first place.
I love that.
Right, just have that realism.
Am I doing a Band-Aid on a flesh wound, or is this a lasting strategy?
Right,
exactly.
And then the other thing for me that was really powerful was, one of the first things is the power of those questions, right? What's really going on, right? So if I find myself in a non-resourceful state and I'm frustrated, fearful, anger, anxiety-ridden, whatever it is, that's only a byproduct of the way I am showing up, the way I'm being. So I ask questions like, well, what do I want to feel right now? What, is this serving me? What needs to happen? Like, in order for me to be angry right now, what am I believing about what's going on? And what other opportunities are there? And it's this is a high level answer to a deep question. But the what Heidi was, that realism, that presence, that is this authentic or not? Is this real or not? Is this serving me? And how do I want to feel? And I find that very helpful in all areas, because in a relationship, let's say Heidi and I are having, a spirited debate or feeling a little, discord.
I like that word, spirited debate. I like that.
Yeah, we don't fight, right? And you call it a fight, it means something very different than a spirited debate, right?
Yeah.
So if that's happening and I go, oh wait, I don't like how this is feeling right now, and then I'm like, well, what do I really want? Well, what I want is to experience love. What I want to is experience closeness. What I want is to be accepted, appreciated, and beyond. And then I go, well, in order to do that, this is not the right strategy. This is not. So feeling this way, in order for me to change that, I have to change how I'm showing up. So what do I want? I want to feel love. Okay, what can I do that's loving right now? And take me towards where I want. If it's a business situation and it's not working out, then maybe you're having challenges with your team. Well, if you're having that little back and forth, you're not feeling that alignment, as a leader, what is my responsibility to say, okay, well, what do I really want? What I want is everyone to be on the same page. Great. What can I do to do it? How do I want that to feel? I want it to feel communal. I want it to feel like we're all on the same page, which is why when we, we're discussing corporate stuff, what are the mission, vision, and values of the company? What are they of the department? What are they of the team? So we can represent ourselves to those and be aligned on that, so that we're focusing on that, not whatever issue is going on, not not whether I'm right or wrong, or you're right or you're wrong. Because if you're in that argument, no one wins.
Mm-hmm. Oh man,
that answered your question.
Oh no, absolutely.
And then some.
Yes, yeah.
And then some.
No, that's true. And so people can say, hey, this is authentically where I am now. That's kind of the starting point, right? This is really what's happening. It's kind of like anything. The first step is to change is being able to really admit, the truth. Like they say, well, hey, the first step in recovery, I don't know. I've had people close to me that went through it, but you have to admit, okay, hey, I have a problem here. And
right.
I've got an issue. I've got a problem.
Yeah.
And so people that have a drug issue, people have alcohol issue, people that have a life issue, hey, this is where things really are right now. And I can admit this. I can humble myself. I've got a problem. And then, so.
You don't have to tell everybody. Just tell the right person. You don't have to tell the world.
Just yourself.
Just tell the right person, right?
Yeah.
That's going to help you. You don't have to announce it out to the planet. You just have to share it with a human that can help you walk through it.
Yeah.
So we get so scared. I don't want everybody to know. Everybody doesn't have to know. The right person has to know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Once they, because we're talking about, hey, this is how you create the most fulfilling life. This is how you operate, not Band-Aid it, right? Mm-hmm. And the Band-Aids are, the distraction stuff, right? Be it drugs, be it alcohol, be it pornotherapy,
shopping.
For men, porn is like a huge distraction. It's like I read a book the other day that said that of the top 10 most visited sites on the planet, 3 of them are porn.
Wow.
Which speaks volumes to the amount of time and energy that is being spent in distractions, even on that. Like just
and seeking pleasure in all the wrong places.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. That temporary, the temporary feel good.
Right. And that's what one of the things we talked about in treatment is that drugs and alcohol aren't the problem. They may have become one, but they didn't start out as a problem. They just started out as an external vehicle or strategy to change the way they were feeling.
They were trying to tend to the fruit on the tree instead of tending to the roots. Exactly. And say, hey, I'm going to fix the fruit so it looks good, but inside it's rotten, right?
And what was your next question? We interrupted you.
Oh no, so when people start, so this is where I am now. This is, really where I am now. And then what would be, say, that's step one is admitting where they are and really looking at themselves in the mirror. What would be the next phase to where they can start, like the next stair for them?
Well, I like to reverse engineer. So here's where I am. Where do I want to go? Okay, so I want to go to whatever that is. I want to go to love in the relationship. When I use that example, I want to do that. Okay, so in order to do that, now let me start backtracking. I've got a vision of possibility. I've got an awareness of presence. The power of the presence is Heidi shared. So you got the vision, now your presence. Now, what are some steps that I can do? What are the next right thing is Heidi shared? What do I need to do in my emotional state? What do I need to do in my strategy? What is the story that I'm committing to writing rather than telling as to why I can't have it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a psychological surgeon. Okay, so if somebody comes to me and sits down and we do the proper diagnosis, right? And that takes time because people don't even know what the real issue is, right?
Yeah.
So we have to take some time to uncover, and then we develop a treatment plan, just like you would for cancer or anything else that you're going through. And reverse engineering is a part of it. But every individual really is unique as far as what you need on your journey. And there is not like, group programs are great. We have group programs too. But even within that situation, we're still personalizing it for everybody, because not everything is going to work for everybody. It's not like a panacea, like, oh yeah, but we want that. We just want, oh, just give me the magic thing that works for everybody. And that's not how it goes. But
well, actually, speaking of the pill, just to add that, like the Matrix, if you remember, there was a pill, right? And that's the first step, is the choice, red pill or blue pill.
You want to see it all? Because if you see it all, if you sit with somebody like us who goes, I see the whole, like, my mind's like a beautiful mind. Like, and you remember that movie, A Beautiful Mind? Where he was but he could like see the numbers split. That's how I am when I work with clients. All their stuff floats and I see the whole picture. And so it's like, do you want to see? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because for some people, that's the scariest part, is taking the blue pill or red pill to see, right?
Yeah.
So once you do that, then the unfolding becomes easy. It's like we create an avatar. After we get where we're going, we create the avatar. Who am I becoming? Who am I living into? What's my ultimate ideal version of myself? And then we systematically remove everything standing in the way of that becoming that person, living into that person, evolving. Because you would not have a desire to come up with that avatar unless it was already within you. Right? It's like you're programmed. You have DNA in you to become everything you're dreaming about today. Everything you're dreaming about tomorrow is in your program. An acorn doesn't dream of becoming a fish. Okay, God's not cruel. So if you're sitting around and you're envisioning this life for yourself, it's possible. We just need to systematically uproot the things that aren't you. Chip away. We go through this life with these masks, putting on who you need me to be, who you need me to be. And so part of this process really is uncovering the true you, your truest nature, your truest potential, and removing everything that's not you anymore.
Oh yeah. So and everything that's not you, and then that could include, habits, people. A lot of times, people around you.
All of that.
And the thing is, like, I think a lot of people, those of you listening to this or watching this, I think, if you could do it on your own, you would have done it, right? Someone that's 30, 40, 50, 60, if they're still feeling stuck, it's because you only know what you know. You have to go to someone like these folks, and like Heidi and Dug, where you, or someone, whoever, but get with someone that can actually understands deeper level of you, that can help you, like a coach, right? Michael Jordan had a coach. I'm sure, Tony Robbins had a mentor coach, Jim Rohn, like everybody that's at the highest of the highest, Tiger Woods. Nobody gets to achieve greatness on their own. So there a lot of, if you want to tap your highest level of, I guess, your highest potential, you have to, I think people are listening, you have to seek help. You have to get around high level, life coach like these guys, or somebody that can help you lay a plan and say, hey, that's okay. It's cool. This is where you are. This is what you need to do. This is the blueprint, right? And really help them understand on a deeper level things that they can't understand on their own, right?
100%. Yeah. I mean, for people watching and listening now, if you're feeling stuck and there's a part of you that's like, man, I want to like get to the next level, and that you need that support, whether it's us or anybody else, give yourself that gift of that investment with that experience. Because when you do that, you're going to now have a vested interest. Because the challenge is there's so much information that's free out there, and you get what you pay for. And that's not because the information isn't valuable. If you didn't pay for it, you're not going to value it and put it into practice.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the challenge, where there's a whole lot of work on that, about like the value when you exchange something and you put some of your own skin in the game and so forth. And you see it all the time, actually, when someone in a relationship, the relationship ends at that point, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I invested all this time. Well, retrospectively, yeah, but had you hired someone earlier in that relationship, you may not have wasted all that time, because you were able to create the environment. People say, oh, I wasted all this time in this business. Well, maybe, but you didn't hire someone to help you overcome the obstacles that they've seen before.
And that's that either comes from the ego, just being flat out hard-headed and saying, oh, I got it, I can figure it out. But that's never like the fast track, I had a guy on my show that just partnered with Grant on a company, a good buddy of mine, Brandon Dawson, and him and Grant Cardone formed Cardone Ventures. And Brandon was on the show and he was saying, hey, I went to 10X. And when I met Grant, no one knew who I was. I sat there, here's a guy that, bought and sold 125 companies, the last one for 151 million in 2016. And he's had massive success. But he said, if I showed up on that and was like, oh, I've done all this and look at me and look who I am, you should listen to me. Right. He goes, he would have clobbered me over there. Like, he doesn't need me. But I showed up and was like, hey, I want to learn from you. I want to maybe add value to you. And maybe I can help you with how to grow and scale your companies better. That's my wheelhouse. Right. And then from that form. So you've got to be, I think, for people to get anywhere and that to go to the next level, got to be humble enough to say, hey, if I need help, right? I need someone that can guide me, that can. You and I met at James Malinchek's, right? Yeah. And so it's like, hey, this guy knows some good stuff on how to sell from the stage, how to set up, various things. But it's like, hey, okay, great. This person knows more than I do in that. If I want to do that, then I might want to hire him in order to help me sell from the stage at a better rate. And right. So because he knows 20 years of how to do it or however long.
A lot of the people that I work with have the same problem that I used to have. And it's why I didn't hire coaches, and why I had such a struggle is because a lot of the people that I work with are overcomers, overachievers. They have, some of them, I came from a really toxic, traumatic background. And my philosophy in life was, if I'm not doing it, then I need to do it myself. The only person I can count on is me. I need to make it all happen. If I'm not doing it by myself, it doesn't count. There's all these stories that we tell ourselves about success and how it needs to look and how we need to get there. But it's like, there is a real sacredness to allowing somebody to come alongside of you, right? That is a sacred exchange of trust. And we don't have to trust the world. We just have to find that one person that we say, when you see me, you get me, you're another version of me. So when you're hiring a coach, you want to ask yourself, do they have what I want? Because they're only going to take me as far as they've gone, right? Yeah. And that's the truth. A leader, thank you, John Maxwell, can only take a follower as far as they've gone themselves. And so that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to say, I'm going to look at this coach or I'm going to look at this mentor and say, do I want to be where they are in 5 years? Because that's where they're going to take me. That's about as far as I'm going to go with this person, right? And if the answer is heck yes, man, I want that, right? Like people considering working with us. Well, what do they want? Do they want to have a fulfilled relationship? Do they want to overcome a toxic background? Do they want to learn how to love themselves? And
they want to make the jump from corporate to independent, reinvent themselves. Where are they?
What's the right person? And really, we should be discerning, because I'll tell you, anybody can hang a shingle. But what happens when they take you under their wing? Our this is our passion. This is our purpose. This is our mission in the world, is to come alongside of people and really help them go all the way, right? And as we grow, develop a relationship and take people alongside of us and continue to grow together, right? We've stayed in touch with some people.
So I just got one. 5 years was 5
years. They
just
come
today.
In for 30 days in the treatment, and they're like 5 years later, they're like, oh, guys, I'm still, and that's
and by the way, 99% of them are sharing how awesome they're doing and thanking us for helping put them on the path and been that guiding light for them.
That's what you want. It's not it's not always about increasing your bottom line or making more money. It's unfortunate because we're so snowballed, right? To see the picture with the yacht and the watch and the car that's rented, or the rented jetway. And we're like, oh yeah, honey, you're going to teach me how to build a multiple 6-figure, 7-figure coaching business. I'm going to teach you how to do that by teaching you how to charge $100,000 per person. It's bullshit. I mean, I don't want to curse on your show, but it's like,
no, feel free. I do all the time.
Your business experience. You know what I mean? Your business experience is charging people a lot of money and making money that way. Okay, cool. What happens when it's hard? What happens when nobody's watching my videos? What happens when there's crickets out there? What happens when I need to go hit the street, and not hit the street that way, DJ, but what happens when I need to go? Do you have the skills?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's real now, because there's so many posers in the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
And that's the balance as well, because while we all know 100% confidence sells, the challenge is we've been told that vulnerability is bad, that to be honest, even with yourself, to be like, no, man, I could do better. I could improve. I could, and that's the awareness that we started with, is have the confidence that you know that you can do it. You know that you could overcome it. You know that you could help other people, and the awareness that I could still use some help. I can still align with somebody. I can still invest in a situation, opportunity, or beyond, and be confident in that experience. They're not like exclusive of each other. They're actually one and the same. It's just a question of what game are we playing. And if you want to up your game, you're going to up your game in both. You're going to up your game in who you're hanging with and your level of confidence and your ability to be vulnerable and honest.
Yeah. And, we have so many, like I was just sharing this with a friend of mine, literally, 2 days ago, when, growing up, it's like I was, a D, C student. And, that came from, the ADD and, massive and which I've shed, or at least I speak life into that I shed. And I, had some abuse, had some, was very poor, didn't have a dad in the mix. And so, but man, you get an F, like you're in trouble, right? You fail, you're getting an ass kicking. And so that's how my generation at least was raised. Like, man, if you fail, if you get an F, man, you are grounded, you are in trouble. But failure is what people need to have in order, it's the building blocks of success. But we're programmed at a young age that failure is bad. Also, like selfishness. Oh, if I say, hey, that person's selfish, someone would think, oh, that person's mean, they're rude, they're a bad person.
Right. We're never taught. No, they're just holding a boundary.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like we need, I think, I'm a huge giver. I love helping people just like you guys. And that's my heart. That's my passion. That's my mission. But we can't, help other people unless we're healthy and we're great and we're our best. And that's why I try to be, do my best in the morning, set my routine. I swim, I try to eat good. And like, I have to be my best and be. And I talk about a be, do, have, but, we're taught that, hey, if you're selfish, oh man, that's a bad thing. No, it's not. It's in the right way, in the right context. Being selfish, I think more people need to freaking stop being so soft and say, man, I need to take care of me and stop worrying about pleasing everybody else when my life's a mess and my life's a wreck. And I'm out here trying to help everyone else to, to feel better, like you were talking, Heidi, to feel, better about me, that I'm doing something good and this and that. And I'm going to take care of me and become my best version of me. And I wish more people, like my hope is that more people would do that, honestly.
DJ, you're really singing my song, because my program is called the Life Program, Love Yourself First.
Oh, yeah.
I would ask people, I would say, what do you need to learn or master that would change your life forever? Person after person after person, 2 decades of working with people, they'd say, I need to learn how to love myself. I say, okay, great. How do you do that? Take a bubble bath, get a manicure, go, you're screwed. If you think loving yourself is taking a bubble bath and getting a manicure, you're in big trouble. It's setting boundaries. It's saying no. It's speaking your truth. It's learning what your truth is. It's learning how to be yourself authentically. It's a real radical approach to like saying, if I love myself first, then I actually get to know myself. I actually stop the people pleasing, stop the perfecting and the performing. But it's not sexy, DJ. People don't want to hear, oh, love myself first. No, just teach me how to like take the pill. That is the pill, though. That's the pill. Love yourself first.
Green beans and ice cream. Yeah, which would you rather have?
Yeah, green beans or ice cream. But you're preaching to the choir over here, bud. I mean, I absolutely. That's my whole platform is love yourself first. Hashtag love yourself first. Hashtag. Let's try to create a movement, DJ.
Hashtag have your cake too. Yeah, I mean, it's so true. It's so people that obviously. I know that you guys work with a lot of people that come through your coaching, that work with you guys one-on-one, that you're able to, been doing it for many, many years, that you're able to really, because of your experience, help them transform quickly. And like you were saying, Doug, you know, you get what you pay for, right? So like, I don't know, I've heard, you know, like one day with Tony Robbins is $1 million, whether it's true or not,
well, his coaching program is, I don't know what his one day to get him for a day, but if you want to do his coaching, it's $1 million a year.
Yeah. For basically
it's a half-hour call once a month.
All that's going to do if you pay $1 million is make you feel like you could pay $1 million and
yeah,
be in his presence. Hey, pay it.
And that's fine.
Make it rain.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, exactly. Like, hey, well, you know, cool. But like people that don't have $1 million a year, right? But people that really want
so they can get us for a fraction of that.
Exactly.
It's a low price.
Yeah. And so, you know, those of you, so what I want to do is put pop up here on the screen, a site or two, a website or two, and share with people what's the best way to reach out, get in touch with you guys.
So we have two sites, separate sites right now. So they can go to revolutionarygrowth.com or
revolutionarygrowth.com.
And my site is lovecoachheidi, HEIDI.com.
Okay, so I put this one up right here for those of you that are listening. You're not watching. If you're watching, it's here on the screen. www, which you don't have to even key in anymore. It's a program, right?
Yeah.
Revolutionarygrowth.com. You can go to that and contact these guys. Also, what was yours, Heidi?
It's Love Coach Heidi.
Love Coach
HEIDI.
It takes me a little bit longer than the average person. I wasn't the smartest, but so it's or you can go to www.lovecoachheidi.com.
That's right.
And you can get in touch with these guys. You can talk to them. I'm sure you have an easy way for someone to, you know, go to the site, fill out a form, hit an inquiry, reach out to you guys, say, hey, and the cool thing is, like with you guys, which you guys are a really unique couple because you have such a vast, not only extensive, like time-wise of working with people and helping them transform their lives to live their best life and creating a blueprint for them to get there. You know, I think it was John Maxwell said, fast is, what did he say? Fast is faster. I don't know. He said something about, but basically the gist of it is, you know, do you want to get there in 6 months, 12 months, whatever, or do you want it to be 10 years? It's like, oh my God, I'm just keep going through, you know, if you keep doing the same shit, you're going to get the same result. And it's simple, but so you guys have such a vast background of ways that you guys can help people, if be it addiction, be it relationships, be it growing their business. And that's what's so cool about you guys as a team is that people can contact you and you can really help them with, you know, pretty much whatever they're dealing with.
Well, and we're so blessed to know guys like you, so that when, you know, we're a big fan of, you know, collaboration and team, that we know what's not going to be our best, and we will happily send people to guys like you or that's there when it's in your wheelhouse, right? So that's the thing, is that we're not so like, oh, we know everything. We know what we know, and also have a vast network. That's what we want you to be part of, is our network as well.
I have a specific person I like to work with. I like to work with a version of me that maybe grew up with some toxicity or trauma. It's a little self-destructive, holds themselves back, doesn't quite know why. You know, maybe they get in dysfunctional relationships or one-sided situations. They stay in things too long. You know,
we could have a whole nother show on dysfunctional relationships.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
That's really my area, right? They come in usually because of dysfunctional relationships, and they're picking people that are addicted, or they have their children that are addicted, or they just are with narcissists and they can't figure it out. Mm-hmm. You know, why they keep attracting these people over and over. So that is my love is to work with that type of person.
Wow. a lot of where I'm at is a reinvention, right? We talked about that earlier, that conscious transformation, having been through multiple careers, having been through multiple, well, not multiple relationships, but
Slow your roll.
So,
you're here now, be here now. No.
Telling you, there's a different, but having been, formerly married, previously, and having that also, which is a difficult